Today, we're going to be teaching you and Milad how to work here at Cold Stone. I obviously can't fit everything into this short video, so if you like this video, let me know so I can make more for you. First, we're going to start off by setting up the stone. Yes, this is why we're called Cold Stone. Right here is a cold stone. It functions very similar to your freezer at home. There's a compressor here that makes this very cold. That's why it's so frosty. It's because just like a soda can, when you pull it out of the fridge, has condensation, little water droplets on it from the moisture in the air. The moisture gets drawn onto the cold stone because it's so cold, and then it freezes on like frost, and we get to scrape it off later. Down here are all of our cold toppings, and up above are all of our dry toppings. The cold toppings sit in this little divot here, and they get nice and cold, but not too cold. So it's kind of like a refrigerator right there, and then a freezer down here. The cold toppings are things like cookie dough, cake, fruit, and even sometimes chocolate. Once we set all of our cold toppings out, we have to remember to put our spoons and tongs into them so that we can actually scoop them out later. We're also missing raspberries, so we'll have to grab that in a little bit. But first, let's show you and Milad how to fill some ice cream. Over here is our Ghia. These are Italian ice cream machines that hold all of our flavors. As you can see, pretty much all of our flavors look really full and they look fluffed. Fluffed is that nice texture on top of each of these, but there's 3 back there that I see need some work. So we're gonna work on those ones first. We need to work on butter pecan, banana, and cherry vanilla. We have a couple empty pans down here, but that's because we need to make those today, so we're not gonna stress about those. We'll worry about them later. Let's focus on the first 3 that we pointed out earlier. Now let's head to the freezer so we can grab our ice cream flavors. Most locations will have a walk-in freezer that you actually get to walk inside of that are full of a ton of ice cream. Since this is a tiny little New York City location, we don't have that here. We just have these reach-in freezers. So we're gonna find our first flavor, which is gonna be butter pecan. Now we're going to take it out to the front and show you how to fill up the Ghia. Also, make sure I don't forget to put the spoons out. I always forget to put the spoons and the tongs out. So let's make sure we don't forget to do that in a little bit. This job is really fun, but I want you to listen to me. Please remember to be careful whenever you try to pull the ice cream pans out. If it's a new pan, they can be really sharp around the edges, and I really don't want you to cut your fingers. It's not fun, so just be careful. One thing that helps is if you use a spade to lift up the edge and pry it up like this, then you can pull the whole thing out. This ice cream is actually way too full for us to fill it, but for the example of showing you guys today, we're going to fill it anyway. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't the summer, and I know we're going to be busy and we're definitely going to sell through this, so it'll be all right. But if it's a slow winter day, do not fill the ice cream ever this high. You do not need to do it. It is a waste. The first thing you're going to want to do is peel off the parchment paper on the top. This is to help make sure that no moisture gets on the ice cream and freezes. That's actually how freezer burn happens, is because of moisture getting on the ice cream, and this is a protective barrier, so you don't have to worry about that. We also use it to label and date all of our ice cream since we make them all in store. This part is really important to me. If you are working at a very busy location, you want to make sure that when you fill the ice cream, you already put the new pan in, so that if we're busy and people are helping customers, they can start scooping out of the new pan while you get the old pan ready to go on top. Also, there's little bars in the Ghia that hold all these pans up so they don't fall down. Sometimes the bars will fall out when you switch the ice creams. Go ahead and fix them. If one falls down and you can't find it, it's okay. Just put the ice cream in. We'll figure it out later when we clean it and take it all apart. Also, once again, be careful with your fingers when you put the pans in. I've seen a lot of people's hands get smashed and cut. Just be careful. Make sure you drop it down and get your fingers out of the way. Now that we put our new pan into the Ghia, it's time to start scooping out all of this old butter pecan. When I say old, I mean it's just a little bit older than the one that we used before. It's not actually old. It probably was made a couple days ago. You want to take your clean spade and go all the way around the outside, from the top to the bottom, and make sure you push it all the way down. Once the ice cream starts to stick to your spade, you can go over to the spade well and give it a nice little shake in the water or a good little rinse off. Or you can even trade it for a clean spade that's been sitting in there. Let's hand our clean spade to Milad and see how well he can do at scooping the ice cream down the sides. At this point, I think it's safe to say that I'm a professional at working at Cold Stone. I've done it on and off for about 12 years. And our friend Milad Murig here has only spent maybe a couple days with me at Cold Stone. So this is pretty much his first real day. In my videos, I always make working here look so easy because I have so many years of experience. So it's going to be nice for you to see what it's like for somebody that has barely any experience try to do the things that I always show you. It's so crazy how I became friends with Milad. We both saw each other's videos and we're like, hey, we do kind of similar things. We both work at a fast food-ish place and we both share videos with people online. We should become friends. And then we started talking and really comparing notes and started working together on all kinds of things. and it really helped both of us get to the place we are today, and it's made us very good friends because of it. The first time we met was actually at a Cold Stone. There was a Cold Stone franchisee in Florida that flew Milad down so he could come hang out with me and we could make videos at his store. So we have to give a huge shout out to Rick in Kendall, Florida for taking us to your Cold Stone and changing our lives. Thank you so much, Rick. I really do appreciate you. All right, now that we scooped our ice cream all the way around, you want to bring it all down to one side and then flip it over and bring it all down to the other side so you make this kind of giant ball. The ice cream is a little soft today, so that's why it's kind of gooey. But this is perfect. We're going to go throw this on top of the other pan of butter pecan. There are two ways you can do this. You can do it all in one go. Since this is a little soft today, I'm going to cut it in half. Or you can cut it in 3 pieces, as many as you need to make yourself feel comfortable so that you don't drop any of this on the ground. We never want to waste ice cream, so make sure you do it in a way that you're most comfortable and you're not going to mess up. Low-key, I don't know if it's weird, but I think doing this is actually kind of fun. Maybe someday when you get a job here, you can let me know if you think it's fun too. Now that we've scraped our pan pretty clean, we can set it to the side so we can take it to the back to wash it in a minute. And then we're going to get a new spade so we can go ahead and fluff up our giant mound that we have left over in here. When you fluff the ice cream, you kind of press your spade down into it and give it a little bit of a twist. It's kind of hard for me to show you on this giant mound way back here. So we're going to go ahead and grab this pan of banana ice cream, and I'm going to teach you and Milad how to fluff this. See, there's way too much ice cream in here for us to fill this one, but if you notice, all the ice cream is scooped out of the middle, and there's a bunch of ice cream on the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to flatten it out just like we did to the other one, and then we're going to go ahead and give it a nice little texture of fluffing on top. If you've never tried banana ice cream from Cold Stone and you like bananas, you have to try it. It is so good. They only flavor it with 9 ripe bananas, so it has the most natural and soothing banana taste. It's so good. You have to try it. I don't know if you can tell yet, but Milad can definitely tell. This flavor is a lot harder than the other one. The butter pecan, I'm pretty sure, has a higher salt content, so it makes the ice cream a bit softer. And this one does not have any salt added to it, so it makes it pretty tough. Whenever the ice cream is really hard, it's nice to just keep rinsing it with water. It just makes everything a little bit easier so the ice cream doesn't stick to it. But the same thing, you just want to go all the way around. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. You want to go about maybe halfway. So you just want to push down. You also want to angle your spade in a way that you're making the pan nice and clean as you scrape down, because we're trying to make this look nice and neat. Once we scraped all the way down the sides, you're going to notice there's a big divot in the middle. So we're going to pull some ice cream from the sides into the middle to make it nice and flat. Now your pan of ice cream should look pretty messy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and add a little bit of texture to it in a process called fluffing. But you're going to want to rinse your spade before you do this, or else it might be a little difficult. I'll do half and you and Milad can do the other half. But what you want to do is you want to push your spade down and give it a little twist and pull out. This will create this nice little like ripple pattern that creates a good little texture on top. Or in other words, it makes it look fluffy. You probably haven't realized, but you're 8 minutes into watching somebody teach you how to work at a job that you might never work at. But one thing that is interesting that I've found is in the last few years, I've met so many people that work at Cold Stone that said that they learned how to work there from watching my videos. So who knows? Maybe someday you will work here. You never know what could happen. Life is crazy and weird things happen all the time. So if you end up working at Cold Stone because of my videos, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Now that she looks pretty like all the rest of them, we can drop her down into the Gia, and now we have a matching Gia. Let's not forget that black cherry one, but let's go take this pan to the back and so we can wash it and rinse it out. And the spoons, please, seriously, please do not let me forget the spoons. I always forget the spoons. All right, we don't have time to teach you how to wash all the dishes right now, but typically, we like to rinse all of the dishes first, and then we wash, rinse, and then sanitize them again. We'll do that in a little bit, or maybe in another video, but let's go cut some brownies first. Our brownies are so good. The smell, I wish you could just smell the brownies. I'm going to make Milad wash his hands, and then we're going to wash our hands as well, but let me take this out in the front first. Funnily enough, all of our brownies are baked inside of cardboard boxes. I'm not sure how that works, but they're not metal pans. They're cardboard boxes. It's easy to get caught up switching from task to task, and then you look and realize you left a giant mess absolutely everywhere. So if you notice things, make sure you wipe them up. Like this one was leftover ice cream from the bottom of our ice cream pan. We need to make sure we lift that all up. Yes, I almost forgot. It's time for us to do our spoons and tongs. You're the best. Thank you for reminding me. We almost forgot. So first, I like to put some spoons out. If you're curious about cross contact and allergies, watch one of my videos about all of that. I go into great detail of how we cater to allergies, but everything out here does pretty much have some cross contact. It's just unavoidable with everything being on the stone. And so if you do have an allergy, we really do go the extra mile to make sure that you have an option where we make everything in the back. And I'll show you in detail that in a different video. But we're going to go ahead and put some spoons in here. Every couple containers gets a different spoon. By the end of a busy night, the spoons will be everywhere and half of them won't even have spoons anymore. So it's really not that big of a deal if they don't all get a spoon. But for the cold toppings, since some of them are kind of goopy or juicy, I like to make sure that they all at least have their own spoon because I don't like them to mix all the juices and the goops. But the other ones, they don't really have that problem, so it's okay if they end up mixing at some point. The tongs, we just keep down in this black little container here. It's called a black crock. We just keep the tongs down in there and we grab them out and use them to pick up Oreo cookies or cookie dough, things like that. See, like a golden Oreo. Once you're done with them, you just put them right back. Before you make your first ice cream, you want to make sure you always scrape the frost off the stone so your ice cream can actually stick to it. If not, the ice cream kind of flops around everywhere and it makes a giant mess. So make sure you scrape off the stone. And you also don't want to get any extra moisture in the ice cream, and this prevents that from happening. Make sure you're leaning into it. It makes it so much easier. And if you're kind of weak, like I used to be, you can get on your tippy toes and really push your body weight into it. It makes it a lot easier that way. We'll show you how to make your first ice cream in just a minute, but let's go ahead and cut our brownies first. All of our brownies get baked in a factory inside these cardboard boxes, which might seem a little odd to you, but the moment you smell one and eat one, you won't even care where these things came from. They're so stinking good, it's insane. Since our brownies are already baked, they're categorized as ready to eat food. That means it's already ready to eat. So what we need to do is we need to wash our hands and then put on gloves because it's ready to eat food. So let's go to the back and wash our hands. Whenever you wash your hands, you want to turn the water on first, get your hands nice and wet. Then you're going to apply the soap and scrub as long as you can sing happy birthday 2 times. It's about 20 seconds. You want to make sure you really scrub your hands, front, back, all the crevices. Make sure you get every little bit. And then turn off the water and grab your paper towels. Now it's time to put our gloves on and start cutting our brownies. Cutting brownies is really simple, but for some reason, new people always find a way to mess it up. So let's make sure that you don't do the same thing. I personally prefer using a clean scraper for this, but if there's a giant knife and you'd like to use that instead, go for it. But I think this is a lot easier to make sure you get straight cuts. If you notice, all the way around the box are these lines to help guide you to make the perfect size brownie. These are there for a reason. You should follow them. Do not wing it. You do not know how to make the right size brownie, I promise. Me, after 12 years, I still can't do this the right way without following the guides. So please, 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 just follow the lines. They're there for a reason. It's not hard. I might make an ice cream later with a giant brownie in it just to show you how bad it is when somebody does not make the brownies the right size. It ruins the entire mixing process on the stone. I like to fold down the edges of the box so I can see the lines a lot easier on the sides. And if you don't feel comfortable making the full cut the first time around, you can just make these light little lines across just to make sure it's nice and straight before you press all the way down and cut it. I promise this is so easy if you just follow instructions. So many things are simple if you follow instructions, but if you don't, it's so easy to mess things up. Look, Milad cut all of these perfect squares of brownies. I'm so proud of him, and it's just because he followed the lines. And I know it might be annoying how much I've mentioned that, but I promise, when you go to make an ice cream and the brownie's way too big, it really does kind of mess everything up. Now we're going to unfold our box of brownies and begin to peel them off the parchment paper. This part is very important. Make sure you peel them off the parchment paper. You don't want to feed anyone paper. It's not fun to eat paper. It's fun to eat brownies though. This container here is called a large Cambro. We're going to go ahead and peel all of these brownies off and layer them perfectly in our large Cambro. We like to fill these up with as many brownies as possible. That's why we like to make sure that it's nice and neat. I know it takes a little bit more time, but at the end of the day, it's going to help you out in the long run. Once we fill our entire large Cambro of brownies, we're going to put the blue lid on top and then also write the date that we made these. We'll have to go into great detail about dating things in another video. Let's quickly fill some spoons and then we're going to watch Milad make us some ice cream and see how well he does. Once again, let's work smarter and not harder. So let's keep all of our spoons nice and neat. They all come in these boxes in perfect rows. You want to make sure you grab them from the handles and put all of the spoon side down and handle side up. This is so that when we go to take it out later, we don't have to wear gloves because we're just touching the handle and not the part that goes in someone's mouth. The more careful you are taking them out of the box, the easier it'll be the longer you go, because the box will continue to get messier and messier as you go, but if you're careful, it'll still be easy to get them all out. I promise throwing ice cream is really easy, and as you can see, Milad is a pro and a natural at it. Definitely way better than I ever was when I started. And if you want to see in detail how to throw ice cream, I actually showed Milad some of my greatest tips in his video. So make sure you go check out his video to see all of this from his perspective, but then also to learn how to throw ice cream. I'll also have to make a video for you at some point of how to scoop, chop, fold, and throw ice cream, but we'll save that for another day. Milad scooped us out a like-it size of sweet cream ice cream. Then he put in 2 regular Oreos. Now he's going to chop, fold that all together for us, hug it into a ball, and then throw it up into a cup. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty nervous. He wants us to catch it instead of himself. So we're going to see how this goes. I don't like to try to catch them in the little cups when somebody throws it to me, but that's what he handed me. So let's go ahead and try this out. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully Milad is a little better at throwing ice cream than most people I train on their first day, because I don't want to go home wearing the ice cream. I want to go home after I've eaten the ice cream. All right, go ahead and give us a drum roll. Let's see how this goes.
Wait, 3, 2, 1.
There you go. Look at you. So proud. So proud. Good.
See, it's his first day. I promise you can be just as good on your first day. I also promise you I was not that good on my first day, so it's okay to not be as good on your first day as well. This was so much fun. Thank you, Milad, for coming out. And also thank you to the Cold Stone on 42nd Street in New York City for having us. We had a blast training you today. Make sure you check out Milad's video and see even more of the behind the scenes. I'm so proud of you for making it to the end. The emoji of the day is the flag of your country. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you want to see more how to work at Cold Stone or how to work at other place videos, let me know. But